Hello. So now we're on number 2 of the Concertina Journal. So I've talked to you about putting this first one in place, and I've repeated the same thing on the second page but using my decorative papers. If I turn the page over, I've also done the third page as well. Now then, the fourth page. Now you don't have to do this, and you can do it here as well, or you can repeat this method all the way throughout. But I'm going to show you something different on this fourth page, okay, which is, we know that the envelope measures 5.5 inches wide, and I'm going to put my paper trimmer there, and we know it's, what was it, 7 and, oh heck, I've forgotten, hang on, 7 and 5/8 deep. Okay, let me do it that way around. Okay, so we know that the depth needs to be the same as these, which I'm doing to 7 3/8. So I'll cut this to 1 2 3 7 3/8 deep. And we know that the width of the envelope is 5.5. Now I'm going to cut the paper 5 1/4 inches. Taking 1/4 of an inch off. So I'm cutting it to 5 1/4 inches deep. So 5 and 1, 2. Excuse me. Now, what I'm actually going to do with this one is I'm going to angle it around this pocket shape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slip this into there, and I'm going to push it down as far as it will go. Okay, I'm then going to use my pencil and holding my pencil sort of at a slight angle so that the nib of the pencil is pointing into the edge of the envelope. I'm just going to draw around this shape. Okay, so I've now got the shape drawn out onto my bit of paper, and I'm going to use my scissors, and with a steady hand, I think I need a gin and tonic to steady my hand, I'm going to cut out. Now then, if you imagine that a pencil line, if you magnified it, it has a middle, it has a left side, and it has a right side. I'm actually going to cut on the right side of the pencil line, so I'm going to cut just within. And I'm not cutting on the pencil line, I'm cutting within the pencil line. I hope that you can sort of see that. You might see a bit further down. I'm cutting within that pencil line because the pencil line is to the actual edge of the paper. And, oh, sorry, the edge of the envelope. And I don't want this right butt up to the edge of the envelope. I want it fractionally inside the edge. And I'm not snipping right the way to the end of the scissors either. Okay. Let's hope I've done it right. So now, when I sit that on, I should have, and you might not be able to see this, let me see if I can do that. Come on, get in. When I glue that on, can you see I've got a very thin line of black of the envelope showing here. Alright, so it's not right butt up, I'm just pulling it slightly away from the edge so that I should get a small thin line of the black showing. I think I need to take just a smidge more off there. Right, let's try that. And then I'm going to ink my paper up. Making sure that I'm watching my corners as well, so that when I'm running it off, I'm running it off at an angle, and it helps to give that sort of rounded look with the inking. Ooh, got an itch on my nose. Mind I don't get any black soot ink on it. Okay. Now this time I can put glue all over the back of this piece, because I know it's the whole piece that I'm going to stick down, and it's not going to be interfering with this part of the pocket of the envelope. My glue's just gone a bit dry on the end there. Again, as close to the edge as I can without going right butt up to the edge, because I don't want glue oozing out, although invariably it does. And if it makes it easier to see, slot a piece of paper in there so that you can see that you've got the distance just right. And this edge of the paper now is butt up to the edge of the envelope. So we only want a really thin black line. There we go. And that gives you a different type of pocket look, so to speak. Okay, so you're going to repeat that on all of the pages where you've got the pocket side of the envelopes. Okay, and it's up to you which papers you use and which pocket type you want to use, whether you want to use this one or whether you want to use this one. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages to decorate. Okay, then we fold the last one over and that becomes the back cover, but we're not decorating that one because we're going to put a cover on it. But now with the concertina part of it, you now catch this side and pull it open again. Alright, so basically it opens on both sides. So you've got those pages on that side, you get to the back, and then you start again. Now on this side we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to do before we then get back to the very front. Now on this one we don't have any pockets of the envelopes to consider. It's like a full page. Alright, so what I'm actually going to do on here is I'm going to put a full page on, put a thumb hole at the top, so then the page when I stick it on forms a pocket. Okay, so we know it measures 5 1/2, 5 1/2. I keep forgetting the length of, and it's 7 5/8. 7 5/8. Okay, and I want to take 1/8 of an inch off each side and 1/8 of an inch off top and bottom. So if it's 5 1/2 inches wide, I want to take 1/8 off from one side and 1/8 off from the other side. So I'm going to cut it 5 1/4 inches by, we know that it's 7 5/8. Look at the state of my ruler, isn't it terrible? 7 5/8, and we're going to take 2/8 off because we want one for the top and one from the bottom. So that's 1, 2. So that's 7 3/8. Okay, so 5 1/4 by 7 3/8. But you will need to work out, okay, as I keep saying, your own paper size, because it will depend on what size envelope you've got. Now I've got a piece cut here, and I think it's 7 3/8. Oh, 7 1/4. Did that one too short? Okay, let's cut a fresh piece. Okay, so I'm going to trim off the unprinted part first. And cut that one off. Okay. And I want it 7 3/8 deep. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that's 7 3/8 deep, and I want it 5 1/4 inches wide. Yeah, that's one. Now I'm doing all of these as this background and not the patterned, because I'm going to add the patterned as decoration. Okay, so I've got 2 there. And I'm going to cut thumb holes at the top. Now, if you've got a directional patterned paper, you will need to just watch the direction of your paper pattern. That wasn't very central, Carol. And so that you're putting your thumb hole in the right top side part of the pocket. And just rearrange myself. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the edges of my paper again, just running it off. And just pay a bit of attention to the corner so that you get that rounded effect. Leave that one for a minute. Now this time I'm going to use my tacky glue, and I've decanted it into this smaller bottle with the metal nib on it, because I just want a thin bead of glue, because I'm just going to flip it over, because I'm just going to place glue on 3 of the sides, because where that thumb hole half circle is, I want it leaving open so that I formed a pocket. Because we love a pocket, don't we girls? Love a pocket. And if anyone wonders what I'm on about, I did a video of my granddaughter, because they made journals with me, and it was full of pockets, and my cheekiest granddaughter, Jackie, just kept taking the mickey, Kept saying we love a pocket. So now it's become a bit of a thing. Now the way in which I position that is I brought it down the page a touch, so I've got the border here, here and here. I'm not worried about if there's a slightly bigger border at the top, because when I put things into that pocket, I want to be able to see them poking out the top. If I've got this too high up, they will extend beyond too far. Just apply a little bit of pressure. Just hold on to it a minute. On my little tune to yourself. And that's that pocket in place. Now I'm going to repeat it on this one, and this one. Of course, if you wanted to, what you could do is, instead of putting the thumb hole at the top, you could put the thumb hole on the side. So then you've got a side entrance pocket, and then you would place glue around 1, 2, 3 sides here. All right, but I prefer to have them at the top on this side because this is where you can add your ribbons and your laces to big tags and things, and they all poke out the top of the booklet itself. Okay, so that's all I need you to get to today. Easy enough so far. Let's just go through it again. So from the front, we're not decorating that front part. We're doing all the pockets on this side, which is all the openings to the envelopes, and you can choose to do this sort with the thumb hole and make the page shorter, or you can do this sort, which is where you've cut out the actual shape of the envelope opening. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to do on that side. You then fold over the last envelope. You do nothing on that back page. You open it up again, and we're doing the bigger pockets on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then it means all your pages inside are decorated. This one isn't, and this one isn't. Okay, with me so far? Give me a thumbs up. No, I can't see you. Now then, where did I put it? I bought something to show you. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Oh well. Use this as an example then. Now then, tomorrow we're going to be doing the front and the back cover. You need a piece of card. You don't want it ultra thick, so it's not grey board thick or chipboard thick. It's, you know, the packaging that you get from your Amazon parcels, you know, that thickness of card. You want it sort of like that. So, you know, like those envelopes that come with the do not bend on the front, and then when you turn it over, it's got that thin grey card on the back. Yeah, well, you want some of that. Okay, now if you haven't got any of that, and you've only got, say, cereal packet type card, then what you can do is you can glue those two pieces of that card together, leave them overnight underneath the book so that they're drying flat. Because if you use a liquid glue, then they can warp a little bit. So if you put the liquid glue on, glue the two sides together, and glue the two, not the printed side, but the inside side of the box. If you glue those two sides together, then they should stick easy enough. Leave it overnight, put a heavy book on top, and it should then be ready for tomorrow's lesson. Okay, that's it for today. Have fun getting to that bit. As you can see so far, it's just not difficult, is it? Okay, looks more complicated than it is, I think, this journal, which is brilliant, because then people think that you've done something really, really clever. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget that if you're a group member, one of my group members, it's Fairy Wishes this weekend. and my new digital kits I'm off to go and put up onto Etsy very shortly. So when they're up and live, I'll put them in the description box below. But if in the meantime you want to go and have a look at my Etsy store, the link is down below in the comments anyway. If you fancy joining us on my Facebook group, that link is also down there too. Can I also take this opportunity to thank you for all the comments on the videos that I did yesterday as well. If you passed a comment, you'll know why I'm thanking you for that. And yes, the majority of us do show appreciation. I think I tend to find that crafters in general are nice people. So thank you for being nice people. See you all tomorrow. Bye.